Hey, good evening. It is Friday night, and I am thrilled to be with you. Oh, goodness. I guess I need to check and make sure my sound is on, and it is. Awesome. Good. So, back to me and you. This is Kathy Beatty, and I love to step into your life for a few moments on Friday evening, really just to give you hope, encouragement as you go through the process, the trauma of divorce. And it is, in fact, a trauma. Don't let anyone tell you anything different. So tonight I have a topic to talk about compassion for yourself as you're going through this process. But first, I do want to mention May 20th, 2025 will be the next group starting. This is a hybrid group. So no matter where you're at, if you have internet access, you can come on and be part of the group. We also do it in person. So if you're in the Grand Rapids area, I will meet with you in person, and part of the group will be in person and part will be online. So it is hybrid. It is opportunity for you to really deal with the things that you have to deal with as you're going through divorce. I was speaking with one of the women in that are currently in my group, and she mentioned to me, she said, I don't know why people aren't lined up the door to be with you and be in this group. And I told her I'm not very good at marketing it out there. Usually it's referrals from attorneys, from therapists, or referrals from friends, the people that hear about the group. But I have had some circumstances where people see my website and connect with me and come on the group. So, but her comment was worth noting, and very appreciative of her making that statement. But just the realization of how vitally important a support group is as you're going through divorce. And I know how hard it is. And, I even mentioned to her how brave it is for her to step into the group, not knowing me, not knowing anyone else in the group. And yet she knew she needed specific help, not general help. She needed specific help to deal with what she was dealing with. So I hope that if you are in this situation, that you'll join us on May 20th. Connect with me. I'll send you a registration form. We'll get the healing started. So that's my only announcement right now. And we'll keep going. What's the topic tonight? Compassion for yourself going through divorce. Now, if you're in my support groups, you probably get a little weary of hearing me say this to you. Have compassion on yourself because you're going through a trauma right now. And people hear me, but they don't hear me. In fact, some people have to go through my group the second time of 10 weeks because they're not able to really digest all that's being said because they have a trauma brain. So that's an opportunity as well for you. If you've gone through the group, you can go through it again if you need to. I have had individuals go through it 3 times. Why? Because they needed to. They needed to be in a safe space where people got them, where people cared for them and supported them and did not judge them. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope you hear me. Okay, I have 4 points today. Compassion on yourself. This is hard. Help your brain. Just like I was saying about those people who have gone through my 10-week session twice and 3 times, it's because their brain literally is shutting down. Your frontal cortex, if you're familiar with the basic psychology or the The basic way that the brain works, your frontal cortex, which is your command center, literally shuts down. And your amygdala, the survival mode, is what is in control. So that's why you can't think clearly. That's why you're not good at decision making. That's why you need support and your network of experts to help you make these decisions. This is hard on you in every way. It's hard on you emotionally, we know, but it's hard on you physically because your brain is literally shut down. You have cortisol pulsing through your entire body because of the stress of what you're going through. Doesn't it only make sense when you hear that? You would say, my word, I've got to give myself a break. I have got to be compassionate to myself. I am going through a lot of crap right now. This is hard. This is hard. Help your brain. Be compassionate to yourself. As I state in my groups, don't plan on climbing mountains. Just manage the speed bumps. A day at a time, sometimes an hour at a time. And that's okay because that's where you are. So help your brain by being compassionate to yourself and not being hard on yourself. You know, there's so much negativity that you're dealing with. You're dealing with financial stress. You're dealing with rejection, betrayal, abandonment. You know, the list goes on. You're dealing with all of those things. This is hard. And that's why I say point number 2, don't do this alone. Get the support that you need. You need to be in a group. And in my groups, you're not forced to talk. You can sit there. I've had people who sit there the first couple of weeks and say nothing other than their name as they introduce themselves. And that's okay. That's okay. And I tell the story in my groups about a gentleman who was quiet all like 3 weeks, never heard a peep out of him. Then we got to anger. And he spoke up and he said, "Of course I'm angry because then I don't have to feel the pain." Everyone in that group heard him and they related to him. But if those people had not been in that group, they would have never been able to equate their anger really is their pain. There are so many moments that come to life, so many revelations, just by being in a group with other people who get you. So don't do this alone. Get the support. Not only come to a support group, but go to your therapist, go to your pastor, develop that network of experts that you need to get you through this. And don't go with negative friends who are just going to bash with you, your former spouse or soon to be former spouse. You need good people, good support. Guard your self-talk and your heart. And we're going to mention a scripture verse that tells us that as well. Guard your self-talk and your heart. There are a lot of things going on in your brain as you go through this process, a lot of things. What is my self-worth? Will I ever be loved again? I'm going to die alone. I'm going to be alone forever. I don't have any value. No one will ever think I'm pretty again. No one will ever think I'm handsome again. The whole list goes on. And these things are just scrambling in your head. And all the time while you're doing this, you're having to manage your children and help your children, probably do a job, and have responsibilities in the community. Do you see why I say have compassion on yourself? Wow, that's a lot. So inside of your head, when all these crazy thoughts start coming, you need to say, okay, take a deep breath, gets oxygen back to your brain. allows you to think a little clearer. What are the lies that I'm telling myself? What are the lies that I'm listening to? What are they? They are lies. Within all of my scrambled emotions, there are lies that I'm believing. And I have to stop. I have to stop that. How do you stop that? By compassion. By saying, honey, that's not true. Yes, I talked to myself when I went through my divorce. You probably do too. If not, you should be. That's not true. That's not true of me. God says differently. God says I am beloved, that He pursues relationship with me, that I am made in the image of God, the Creator, that He loved me so much that He sent Jesus to take my place because of all my faults and all of my sins. I am loved and I am lovely. Guard your self-talk and your heart. You know, there's another reason that we do that. Because if we don't, we're going to become bitter and angry people, resentful. If we don't start out by having compassion on ourselves, we'll continue to beat ourselves up and then become angry and mad at the world because things didn't go right and we're the victim. And it gets really tangled and complicated quickly. Have you ever known a bitter person or angry person that you wanted to be around? I sure haven't. That's why your healing is so important. That's why being intentional about your healing is so important. If we don't guard our self-talk, we're going to believe the lies. I mentioned that. And we're also not going to be able to heal. We're not going to be able to heal. We're going to stay stuck in whatever mode. Is that a bitterness mode? Is that an angry mode? Is that a resentful mode? Is that a victim mode? All modes you don't want to stay in. It begins with compassion. It begins with compassion for yourself. Guard your heart and your self-talk. What are you doing for self-care right now? I love, love, love to ask this question in my group because they kind of look at me, look around. I'm not doing much. I'm just trying to survive. Well, surviving involves being compassionate to your mind, your body, your soul, that you be tender and you find genuine, authentic people who will be tender with you and have compassion on you. Start the self-care. That could be a simple walk. That could be a break of worship music. That could be taking yourself to the library and sitting in a chair and reading a healthy book. Could be reading my books. That's self-care. What are you doing for self-care right now? And will you start this week, tonight even? Well, what would that look like tonight? I don't know. Is that a hot shower, a long bath? Is that allowing yourself to go to bed early, to rest? Is it making sure that you're eating right? You know, everyone's self-care is different. My self-care is going to bed at a good hour. My self-care is being in nature and watching the birds out my back window and the deer and the turkey. That helps my soul and clears my head. Whatever it is, find the mode of self-care that you need. Scripture verses. You probably knew I was going to bring this one up. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Another version says it determines the course of your life. Guard your heart. Continuation of that verse is avoid all perverse talk. This includes to yourself. Stay away from corrupt speech. That includes other people around you. Look straight ahead. Fix your eyes on what lies before you. Mark out a straight path for your feet. Don't you love the simplicity of that, the beauty of that? And then it goes on to say, don't get sidetracked. Keep your feet from following evil. Focus. Guard your heart and focus. Mark out a straight path for your feet. And that, my dear friends, can be one step at a time. A verse in Psalm says, set a guard over my mouth. This is a prayer of David in Psalm 141. Set a guard over my mouth. Keep watch over the door of my lips. Not only to other people, but to yourself. I hope somewhere in all of this is a word of encouragement and hope to you as you deal with going through divorce. And it really could be you're in the middle of it, the thick of it, or maybe you're past it, but you're still hurting and still need the support and time to grieve. Wherever you're at, I hope that there's something in this tonight that has been of help and of blessing to you. Take care of you. This is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous, walking with you every step of the way through divorce and after divorce. Have a good evening.